So yesterday I posted a video on my Instagram of my first attempt at a black and tan. And in all fairness, it was my first attempt at that particular drink. Inspired by a gift I got when I bought a case of Guinness. It's a half and half pouring tool. The box that this came in said try your Guinness with a Guinness Hop House 13. It's some BS light beer that they came out with. It's not very good. I don't recommend it, but I bought a couple cans just to try it out because that's what the box said, and I'm pretty obedient that way. So I got into a discussion with a friend of mine about it, and he asked me what the beer was that I used with it. I mistakenly said Kilkenny, because generally when I mix a half and half, which admittedly isn't very often, I mix it with a Kilkenny. And he was very adamant that there was no way you could mix a Guinness and a Kilkenny, or layer them, excuse me, because they would just mix. And so I turned that discussion into a bet, and here we are. I'm going to make a video as evidence that you can very, very definitely mix a Guinness and a Kilkenny. It's actually named for this drink. It's called a Black and Smooth. I've made it, like I said, innumerable times. I've had it in bars. It's a very easy drink to pour, especially because Kilkenny is a nitrogenated beer as well. It forms a beautiful thick head. Even the Guinness, which is actually a light density beer, contrary to popular belief, sits right on top of that as the head from the Kilkenny is developing. It's a real easy half and half. It looks cool. If you put it up to light, you get a golden color and the red of the Guinness, and I'll show you that just as we're done here. The only cheater trick to this is about, I'm going to say 10 minutes before I started making this video, I took both these out of the fridge. I put the Guinness on the counter. It'll lose a couple degrees. I put the Kilkenny in the freezer because, as everyone knows, colder fluids are more dense. So it helps a little bit. I'm going to pour this out. I'm going to pour the Guinness on top of it, and we're going to prove to my friend once and for all that this is a very, very, very doable drink to make. So we'll pour the Kilkenny. I'll go a little bit aggressively on it just because we'll get that nice thick head. You pour it about halfway up, okay? And we are going to have to let this settle for a second. Just, again, let that nitrogen come back up to the top, develop that nice thick head. One of the tips, one of the easiest ways to do this is to put a small or a thin layer of Guinness on top of the beer that you're pouring onto. Let that settle a little bit, and then pour the Guinness on top of it at a pretty good pace. So we're going to do that. You're going to see me spill a bit because these cans are not designed to be poured out of extremely slowly, but we're looking good here. We've got quite a bit of head forming. You can see there right now. It has the same effect as Guinness in what almost looks like a whiskey colored beer, but that's that thick, creamy head. Kilkenny is an Irish cream ale, and when you nitrogenate it, this is what you get, the same effect. So we're just gonna go ahead and, as I said, add just a little layer of Guinness there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, how it kind of bounced around, but I've still got that beautiful rye colored hue on the bottom from the Kilkenny. I'll let that settle because the Guinness is going to develop its own head. All that nitrogen is going to mix, and now there's no way for the Guinness to permeate through that head. I can just go ahead, pour away right up to the bottom of my pour tool. We'll lift that up to finish this beer off, and you can already see the black forming its own layer. We'll finish that beer off, give her a little shake, get rid of that, and you're going to see very shortly as this settles that I just want to bet. Apologize for the length of the video. It does take a minute to pour these things, but you can already see the difference in the two. As that head mixes and finishes off, we're gonna cheat it and show you as clear could be that we've got a black and smooth. So there you go, there you have it. I win.